Hey guys, we're here today in Chile, San Francisco to talk to Luciana Lage about her online Portuguese school, Street Smart Brazil. Luciana has been living in the US for 8 years and teaching Portuguese to foreigners for quite some time. So I'll pass the microphone off to her. And so why don't you tell us about your school?
Thank you for having me here. Thank you for having lunch here at the Brazilian restaurant in San Francisco. Street Smart Brazil, I started it in November 2008. And at that point I had been teaching Portuguese for quite a while, but I didn't see it as my career. I just loved it. And November 2008 was the moment where I figured, you know what, I'm happier teaching Portuguese than I am at my, what I thought was my regular job or career. And that's when I quit everything and had my first website up. And that's how it started.
Cool. So what kind of students have you been teaching?
We teach adults mostly. Because we teach online using webcam, we teach students all over the world, including a lot of students who live in Brazil and learn Portuguese via webcam with us. So basically, adults, many of them for personal reasons, because they travel to Brazil, because they have friends or they like the music of Brazil. Many of them because they do business with Brazil or are even living and working in Brazil.
And what are the classes like? So they're all done online on Skype. How regularly do people take classes with you? Talk about the classes.
It's a good question. So we offer one-on-one lessons via Skype online, and those are a big hit because it's one-on-one, so it's all about you. We start from where we are, we go to where you want to go. But we also offer group classes online, and with the webcam and with the audio systems, you can hear your classmates and your tutor, and you can share resources online. So it works just as well as a classroom, a real physical classroom.
And what are the class sizes on those group classes?
Group classes online, maximum 5 students. Usually 3 to 4 students is even a good size. We teach classes in San Francisco in person, and those 8 students maximum.
And what are some of the biggest difficulties that your students have learning Portuguese?
Some students, when they start the classes, they say, oh my God, I am terrible with languages, I'm never gonna learn. It's not true. They all learn. Some students, they're afraid of the pronunciation, but you've learned Portuguese. It's not easy to learn a language. I don't think it's easy. I think it's challenging. But I don't know that students have a particular problem that is difficult to overcome.
And so how many hours a week do students generally take classes with you?
It varies. The minimum we offer is 1 hour per week, but some students do 2-3 hours per week.
And do you encourage your students to practice and study Portuguese outside of class?
Oh, that's very important. Very important. They always have homework after each class, and a lot of the homeworks require them to watch videos, to listen to music, to talk to people, to interact. It's very important to bring the language into your life, especially when you don't live in a country that speaks the language you're learning.
So what would you say to a student who wants to learn Portuguese, but they're only willing to invest an hour or two with you, and they're not going to do other things outside of the classroom?
That's a great question. We have many students in that situation because they work a lot, they travel a lot, and they have families. And they can do their 1 hour per week, and that's it. They don't do the homework because they don't have the time. And that's fine too. But you have to be patient because you will progress a little slower, but you will progress as well.
So what's the fastest that someone got to a high level of conversational fluency?
It varies, of course, but I have a student that after 3 months doesn't speak Spanish. Portuguese was his first foreign language, and with 4 months, I would say, he was conversational and with great pronunciation, and he's really a star.
And he had all sorts of slang and other idioms too. You guys are focused on Street Smart Brazil,
yeah.
on Portuguese. That's how it's really spoken.
Yeah, and I do want to say that we teach correct grammar, we teach perfect Portuguese, business Portuguese too, but we don't teach out of a textbook. We have our own program. We have authentic, original materials, and we use a lot of authentic materials from the media. So when we say it's street smart, it's because it's the Portuguese you actually hear when you go to Brazil. It's not out of a textbook.
Right. And I think that's really important to have Portuguese as it's really spoken, and not, because a lot of textbooks and other courses like Pimsleur and Rosetta Stone, they teach, dry Portuguese, not how it's spoken by people in Brazil. So it's really important for students for Portuguese learners to get the authentic Portuguese, and I think it's really great that you guys teach it like that.
Thank you. And what happens, some students, they're really great. They can learn by themselves with Pimsleur or Rosetta Stone. But what happens is that when they are interacting with native speakers, they freeze because they don't hear what they were trained to hear.
Right.
And they are not efficient in how they communicate because, they know the formal path to get there, which is sometimes not how people will actually speak.
Yeah, I think that's an important point you make there, is that you need to be able to be flexible with what you speak. You can't just you can't treat language learning, you can't divorce language learning from the context that you're going to use it in. You're not learning Portuguese so that you can speak it to a book. You're learning it so that you can speak it to a person. So it's important you get that confidence from speaking to an actual native speaker of that language.
Absolutely. And the social context, the cultural context, so our classes involve a lot of culture, a lot of music, a lot of articles about the culture, because language is not about the words only, right? So like you can translate something literally and don't get the meaning of that at all.
Right.
If it's out of context, or if you didn't really get a certain inflection in a word.
Yeah, and that creates a lot of room for funny mishaps when you translate things literally, or you think you're saying something the right way, but you're thinking in your language when you speak in Portuguese. And so, do you have any funny stories of someone who they thought they were saying something one way, but they actually said something else?
Oh, I do. I actually have a video on my YouTube channel, and it's called Confusing Words That Can Get You in Trouble. And this video was attending a request from a subscriber who wrote to me and said, can you please make a video about these words that are almost the same but mean something completely different, because I just asked my girl if she finished cleaning her behind. Because he wanted to say cozinha, and he said the word in the masculine.
Right.
So you know what he got, right? And this video has a few words like that, because my husband's co-worker went to Brazil and walked into a clothing store and asked for a condom instead of a camiseta. Right?
Yeah.
So yeah, I have a video with some of those stories.
Yeah, and correct pronunciation is also really important there, because I think every gringo who goes to Brazil, they hear about this delicious Brazilian cheese bread, and when they go to order it themselves, they get surprised when people are staring at them, and then they find out later that they asked for cheese penis.
Yeah, someone wrote to me. He said he was in São Paulo visiting his girlfriend, and they were eating bread, and the difference between vulgar word for penis and bread is just the nasal sound. And so he wanted to say, my bread is delicious, but he actually said something else.
No, that's terrible. Yeah, so what's the correct way to say bread?
Pão. So the nasal sound, you kind of feel in your nose. It's almost like you say something and go like, huh?
Pão. Pão.
Yeah, pão. Yeah.
Not pow.
Not pa.
Pow.
Yeah, pow.
Yeah, so that's an important thing to learn before you go to Brazil.
Also, água de coco.
Oh, jeez.
Right? Coconut water. Água de coco. You have to put the emphasis on the first coco.
Because água de coco is what, shit water.
Poop water, yeah. Which I don't think you want to try.
No. So how much are classes?
Classes are $35 per hour when you taking classes one-on-one and you have a subscription. If you don't have a subscription, they're $40 per hour at the moment.
And you do a free evaluation class?
Yes, thank you for asking that. We offer a 30-minute free demo class, and then you will be able to use one of our sample materials to see how we like to work. You'll be able to meet your tutor and share your expectations and get a little test drive of how the classes work online.
And if someone wants to learn more about Portuguese classes with you, you can check out her site, streetsmartbrazil.com. Her email's on there.
Yeah, you can email info@streetsmartbrazil.com. Also visit our Facebook page.
Right. Yeah, I actually found out about her through the Facebook page. She's got a really great Facebook page with a lot of interesting discussions on there.
Thank you.
So it's definitely should go like her Facebook page and take part in that discussion there. Yeah, thanks Luciana for being here.
Thank you, obrigada.
And yeah, so see you guys around. Follow.